Hi, Desert Pioneer. What's going on? Welcome back, everybody. We're here back at the Adventurous Guide to the Galaxy. Now, sorry, camera's gonna be a little bit jumbly today because my little tripod thingy disappeared right before the video started. But just gonna do a quick video here. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Um, doing a little video about the Texas border battle. Now, I had a really cool thumbnail for this, but the thumbnail generator didn't want to work. But again, essentially, it was going to be Texas, like a little state of Texas, right? A little poker table, and the government on the other side of the poker table with their little cards. Who's going to fold first? That's like the general thing of this video is who's going to fold first. Now, I find it very interesting, and if you don't know, for anybody, it's January 24, 2024, and there's a bunch of stuff going on at the border. This place called Eagle Pass. Now, I've lived in Texas before. Um, you know, what's that? My phone is acting up here. Sorry. Lived in Texas before, and I've been to a lot of areas in Texas, right? And it's just like I said, it's a really awesome, really wild place. But what they have going on down there, they got the Eagles Pass, which is a park, a very popular border crossing spot from people coming all around the world, trying to come to the United States of America. Let me rest it right there. Trying to come to the United States of America, and they're all coming through this place just willy nilly, but thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, all kinds of stuff going on, human trafficking, drugs. Um, Sorry, let me put this down here. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, there's people trying to find a better life, people scamming, people kidnapping people, all kinds of stuff going on. People that were lied to. It's a huge mess. And I guess the Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, in my last border battle video, we went over the fact that he changed he did I guess it was an executive order or, excuse me, emergency declaration. Sorry, that's what it is. I got a lot going on in my head. Emergency declaration for the border so that him, state troopers, National Guard, local police, Texas military department, all these different types of departments and stuff, they can take over the border for, 30 or 50 or maybe I guess they're going to do the whole state eventually. They take over the whole border and they can stretch it. They can do whatever they want. They can, try to funnel people into the other areas that they want, like the processing centers, the legal ports of entry, all these other types of things, right? Now, a couple of days ago, the government here says, hey, you have to give our border agents access to the areas. You have to let them in. You have to let the border patrol and the federal agents in so they can move the border wire and allegedly help people if they're drowning, which I don't think they actually want to do because people have drowned. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be rude. A lot of border patrol agents, they've saved lots of people. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the agents themselves don't want to do it, but I'm saying the government, I guess the higher ups, they don't really care. They want people to drown and to be drowning, so that they can have this week's political heartstring moment to let them do what they want. And then, like I said, if Texas does fold, right, and just lets them back, tons of people are going to die. You can look at the map of how many people have died in the desert in the summertime, in the hot months of the Arizona desert, Texas. Like there's just it's terrible. It's like there's just all kinds of just dead bodies all over the place. Like I said, you know, it's not like, like it's not like something that's super crazy sounding, or it's not like you can look over the hill and see like this giant flames. Like it's something like that. It's like, every so often you're driving around the desert, wide open areas, you see people walking around all over the place. People dead, kids missing, just all kinds of stuff. It's a chaotic situation. People who live in these border areas is chaotic, and now, like I said, they're busing them up to these different areas, taking these migrants because they, like I said, they want them to wait in the United States of America until they get a court case, which is years away because every state, like I said, they're backed up for years. And it's just like I said, it's a very inefficient process the way it's going right now. And Texas said, hey, look, we're going to take control of this. We're going to do what we want. So now, like I said, deadlines have crossed and nothing happened. Like I said in my last live stream about this, um, you know, unless you have people with money, trucks, and guns, you're not going to dislodge Texas's, people with money and trucks and guns that have done the border with the sea wire. Like I said, they said, oh, you need to let our agents in. They're talking tough, but like I said, now that Texas said no, we're going to do what we want. I guess the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and all these other people in the Texas military department, lawmakers, I've seen a couple come out. Even Rand Paul, like, they're doing like some political thing where they're talking about the elections, and he even made a stop in some I don't remember exactly who it was. He made a stop on with Tucker Carlson or some Fox News or CNN person, and they talked about the border. They talked about the border issues and things like that. And he said something that was pretty interesting that I thought that would be interesting. That Rand Paul said, he's talking about Nikki Haley and how he doesn't like Nikki Haley and this and that, and then they brought up the border, and then they were talking about it, and he said something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it made me think about it. Like, oh, here's what it was. He said that all of his Republican colleagues and some Democrats, because I guess he's up in that area, they're ready to sell out. I mean, there's nothing new. They're willing to sell out as fast as humanly possible on the border and just have a nice sounding thing, which is pretty much the same with everything else. Literally, that's why you don't have anything. But they claim that we're so good, we do all this stuff, but then none of that stuff's there. They said because it's an election year, they want to sell out. I guess they made it clear to him, we want to sell out so fast. We just need them to shut up and hurry up. Hurry up and sell out. That was the whole entire thing. Rand Paul was upset. Rand Paul's a senator from Kentucky. Um, and he was shocked. He was like, man, I mean, I've heard them sell out literally on everything else, but I mean, I didn't think they'd sell out this fast on this. And again, Republicans and Democrats, whatever issues they claim to lord over or be the arbiters of, they want a monopoly on that issue so that they can sell you out, and there's no recovering from it because you don't have any other avenue. Sorry, there's mosquitoes on my leg. You don't have any other avenue of dealing with that issue, because for some reason people attach things that actually need to happen to a political group somehow. I'm not really sure how they do that, but that's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I thought about it, and I was like, wow, they really don't. They really don't actually. Well, I mean, I knew this isn't something I know, but I was watching this and it made me think of this, which made me make this video. They actually, Rand Paul was shocked to hear them want to sell out on the border super fast because it was an election year. And I thought to myself, I'm like, bro, like, have you not seen the same thing for everything else? Afghanistan, Flint, Michigan water, Jackson, Mississippi water, migration crisis literally every single other year, votes, free speech rights, Second Amendment rights, abortion rights. People claim, hey, Mr. Daryl Guberman is in the chat. Everybody say hello to Daryl Guberman. Fantastic video about the airplanes and all that crazy wheels falling off and other stuff, but I'll get back to that in a second. Now, um, they sell out on every issue. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you think about abortion or Second Amendment, First Amendment rights, border, or any of this. It doesn't matter what you think, right? Religion. Oh, this is my religion. My religion is this and that. It doesn't matter what any. It doesn't matter what you think. Every single one of these issues, they will bulldoze every other group of people. Because I was listening to this other show today, and they said something on this other show that made me think of this. Every single issue, somehow in America, in the past, like since I would have to say, let's just go easy. Ever since like 2012, right? Let's just start easy. Every single issue that matters, no matter what it is, somehow you turn around and it's connected to politicians, right? Somehow a political party, something. Let's see. Let's see. Daryl says, I saw you on, but I gotta get my beauty sleep. Listen to this clickable and never. Oh man, where did it go? Oh man, I don't want to read this thought here. Oh man, my chat's gone. It says, I saw you on, but I gotta get my beauty sleep. You'll never vote against Putin. Said he's you're wasting our time with the polls. That's very funny. Again, everything is Vladimir Putin. He's literally a superhero. Apparently he's not old. Apparently he's like a mega mind and part of the Justice League or whatever. But again, you'll never have anything. See you later, Daryl. Have a good night. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not think about what you're saying. Have a good night. Definitely let me know when you watch it again. So everything in America is connected to political parties, which political parties are obviously owned by. The message is held for review. Let's see. As Putin said, we are all effed. I guess. Hey, look. Hey, man. He's obviously a super wizard. He must know everything. So it hid your comment, by the way. Talk to you tomorrow, Daryl. Have a good night. So again, everything in the world, everything in America. For people who are outside of America don't know, everything of note or that you would want somehow was connected to a political party or somebody who's beholden to a political party or some philanthropist that literally acts like one of these political parties, right? A lot of people are confused by this. They don't understand, how is this happening? How is every single thing that we care about, oh, you can't, you got to wait until election season. And like I said, it's every 4 years. So you're only allowed to care about yourself or any of these issues every 4 years. And, it's kind of dumb. And like I said, the more people figure this out, like, there is no political solution. You have to like actually just go and solve the problem. And when the political people show up, aka the federal agents showing up at the border, and Texas like, you can't do this, you you're acting too soon, or we need to have this the border and stuff for the political season coming again. This is why this matters. Texas shows up at the border, it's like, hey, look, this is our state, we don't care how you feel, you must be, they're going to use like racism or something like that, but like, I think a lot of these border agents, they're black, white, Hispanic, and it's Texas, bro, you know what I'm saying? So like, they don't know what to do. So again, every time you see a deadline come out, you better give us access to the border by Friday. You better give us access to the border by this day. You better do this. Texas keeps doing what they want. And in the language from the Biden administration, or the Republican Party, Democrat, doesn't matter. The language changes up. They're like, "Oh, well, it would be nice if you let," like, again, now they're back behind the scenes trying to figure out, they're making moves, people are talking and calling, what are we going to do, who are we going to threaten, we can't threaten anybody, we got to see what we can do. That's how this operates. This is how it works. Again, a lot of you people are watching CSI and the West Wing and all these TV shows, and in the shows they'll be like, remember, this is where people get the, how does this work? If you don't know, then they're going to fill it in with what they do know. If they don't know anything, they go to any TV shows, movies. They see these people in these office rooms like, oh, I'm so noble, we have to figure this out. And I'm like, in real life, they're just like, look, here's what we're gonna do. How are we gonna get this done? People are in the way. How do we f them people over and get them the f out of the way? This is pissing me off. They have to die. Okay. How do we spin their deaths to be a good thing? Well, these people die, but let's do the good thing. Again, all this stuff goes on, and by the time you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, they've already got a whole day's worth of news set out, and they already have all the talk. Again, they sit up all night rehearsing this. Like, this isn't just some, they didn't accidentally just know how to flip your society up and down. They've been doing it over and over and over again, but then again, you just assume it's the same people. So everything is connected to politics. And in this show that I was listening to today, it made me think of this. He's like, how do you have, because these were leftists talking about some other issue, but one of the guys he was like, how can you, he's critiquing other leftists in America. He says he hates other leftists in America because he's like, how do you have any organization that claims to help any type of person, any group, any marginalized anything, when they're all connected to, again, for them, the Democrat Party, Republican Party, Libertarians, whatever. And he's like, well, I'd love to literally stop this person from drowning, but I need to call and make sure that enough cameras are on this person while they drown so that it can be used for the political thing. And again, with this woman and her children that unfortunately drowned in the Rio Grande River, the Border Patrol agents from the Biden administration, they showed up and 2 hours after they were already deceased. And they said, oh, this person died. You guys showed up hours late. The Mexican authorities called over to Texas and said, hey, look, something happened, right? Something happened. We need to try to help these people to rescue. Again, among thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who are in distress at all times, all over the border, the whole situation, everywhere. But yet they're singling out one person while they cover up the deaths and the, let's just say, I'm going to use a fruit, the grape of lots of people in that situation, right? They've gotten rid of YouTube channels, they've gotten rid of whole ass people that are trying to bring up this issue and solve it, but yet all of a sudden, here comes the wambulance and the privileged liberals and the fake wannabe mega church Lindsey Graham type. I don't even think he goes to church. I don't even think he's a human being. Anyway, here come all these people. Oh my God, this woman drowned, and they're like, but it's almost like you can see again. The mass email went out, like YouTube notifications. This, news station, news station, news station, news station, news station. Woman drowned, woman drowned. Oh my God, we are so sad. Did you hear this woman drown? We are so sad. We are so sad. This is terrible. Texas is still don't talk about all these other deaths though. That again, these people are right, bro, right in your face with this real serious shit, bro. So again, like I said in my last video, check the comments in my last video. I'll put it down in this one. These migrants are getting bused to locations. You don't know where these people are going. Some of these people, a lot of them get dropped off in cities. Some of them are perishing unfortunate deaths. A lot of them are ended up in factories where they're making Fashion Nova and Nordstrom rack clothing that's super expensive, yet it was made for $2. And I mean, I was thinking of this earlier. Why can't you take some of these bajillions of dollars that all these Victoria's Secret and these Nordstrom racks and all these, Fashion Nova, they're making a lot of money. Why don't they pay women in the United States of America, because we have, laws for human rights and stuff, like $50 an hour to make these bras and all these other panties and stuff, and then sell them for the same price that you're selling them for because they're super duper expensive, or however much a fair price. I don't know. Instead of paying a bunch of people you just bust from the border a couple months ago $2 an hour, or I mean, that's if they pay them $2 an hour. Again, Los Angeles, California, a bunch of migrants in a shop. Fashion Nova got caught taking people from the border, making all these expensive clothes. $2 an hour, 270. Okay, 270. But you're gonna sit there and say, again, that's again a lot. And then there's again, I watched a Dr. Shiva video, a lot of drug trafficking, money laundering. These companies will say, "Hey, look, we need these, we need these drugs from South America, but we're not going to pay for them." They'll go, people will bring the drugs up through there, and they'll pay them on the cheap, and then guess what? They're charging you all kinds of money. Insurance is, dude, it's a whole entire industry. But just because a portion of how the sausage made is made looks like people walking across the border with giant bags or a bunch of people crying and stuff. Listen, in wars, they will put bombs on toys and just put it out there because they know a kid will be like, "Oh, look, a toy," and they'll go and grab it and blow it up. But American soldiers, they also know if you put a bomb on a toy, or a little kid goes to pick it up, American soldier, "Oh no," you try to stop, and they're like, "Yeah, got another American out of here." Yeah, ooh, that's how they think. Again, this is how it goes out in this world. But a lot of people in America. Another video I was watching today, someone was very angry. This is very funny to me because people are they get really spicy around election time, but a lot of things come out. This person was like, the majority of people in America, whether they're living good or bad or whatever, they're living whatever they're living life, right? When they're so busy living their life, no matter what it is, they don't have the mental capacity or the time to deal with this because there's so many things you have to pay for, so many different types of bills, so many different things in America. Like most people are busy getting that money because they have to, providing for the families. Nothing wrong with that. Then when this migrant crisis comes up, a lot of people are just going to again revert back to their training or whatever they were taught, however they grew up. A lot of people, oh, it's not a big deal, or maybe we should do this and that. When you get there, I've seen a lot of YouTubers, I've seen a lot of people who generally had nothing to do with politics or any of this type of stuff, which is great because I watch a lot of different types of stuff. They're showing up at the border, doing their own little video, reporting and this and that, and they're actually shocked. They are like, again, these are kids, white kids, black kids, boys, girls, Hispanics, people from all over the place that are not from the South, especially not the Southwest. They show up there, they don't know how to act. They're like, this is insane. And again, one of the guys, the gentleman I'm trying to interview in this channel, oh, look, kitty cat, scared the hell out of me. One of the people I'm trying to interview this channel, a gentleman named Craig Sawyer, is fantastic. One of the people that I've watched for years and I very much like. He goes down the border. He's got videos, again, the child trafficking in both directions across the border. And he's like, look, you got to address this. I'm scared the shit out of me. You have to address what's going on. It's a very serious thing. But again, a lot of people, they're off living their lives. They're working. They're doing what they got to do. They don't have the time to literally process that information. So when they look out their window one day in whatever major city and you see a bus with just thousands of people, excuse me, not in one bus, but in multiple buses, just getting off and they're just there, even if you're a politician, that's why I said that. Politicians, rich people, they're like, oh yeah, the Hamptons. They're like, oh my God, look at all these people. Again, you were online typing away. Oh, I'm going to get the Republicans. I'm going to get the Democrats. And then when that shit, whatever you were typing away, I'm voting for this, I'm voting for that, whether it's war, immigrants, this, that, you're like, it'll never affect. Oh my God, John, look, there's a bunch of people outside. They're trying to get in our house. And I've never seen people look like this in my entire life. Yeah. But when it gets to that point, what did Winston Churchill say? Americans, they are the greatest. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here. They're the greatest people at doing something is the very moment that it's too late to do something. They're the best at immediately getting up and, oh, look at all this stuff. Okay, well, if you waited how long and right until it's like, oh, now I got to do it. Because again, taking care of a problem before it becomes a problem, unless you actually saw it develop into this problem, people think that you're lying Or they'll say, oh, because remember, let's say you had two different time, like let's say you had like a little experiment, and you could see two different realities in this little box. One of them you stopped the problem, one of them you let the problem go, and you saw the problem, it just became huge. Oh my god! And then like the little place where you stop the problem, all the little people you look down, they'd be like, well, how do you know it would have got that bad? Because I know it's a great white shark, but if I mean he maybe it wouldn't eat me if I jumped in there. Maybe do would that again. This is what people think when you allow them to just have it good enough for long enough. Again, how do I know that I'm correct about this? A lot of these immigrants, migrants, legally, illegally, whatever, when they come to America, they're like, oh man, I want to have all these kids. I'm going to work hard and do all this stuff. Once that first generation works hard, the second, third generation, those kids are spoiled and lazy and they are running their mouth. Not all, not all, not all, but a lot. It's enough of them to where even some of the migrants coming here are like, hey, wait a second. I might have to just make some money and then go back to my home country and try to just take some of this money and kick it and just get it popping over there because America is that insane right now. Because again, there's so much stuff going on. When I was in Luxembourg trying to explain to my friends what Florida is like, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, there really is a lot of stuff going on in Florida, even though I don't participate in a lot of it. There's just so many different types of things going on. In a lot of these other countries, there's amazing things, beautiful people, great food, terrible people, terrible food, terrible places, maybe great places. Depends. But the amount of different types of things that are going on in America at any one given time, again, how many college football teams are there? Just in Division 1A, there's like 130 something teams, right? And then there's basketball teams, and there's baseball, and then there's softball, and then there's women's sports, and then there's all other types of there's water polo, there's chess, and then there's NASCAR, and then there's all these different types of things going on all the time. And we tell these other people like they're like, how can you keep track of all this stuff? I'm like, I guess we're just insane. So then again, this border thing's going on, crazy stuff is going on, and I explained to them, oh yeah, well it's because this, and they're just like, well, the immigration thing in Europe, they understand like, hey, look, this is getting crazy because again, it's happening over there, it's happening all over the place in many different countries, but again, Americans will never look for or learn any of this information. So again, immigration crisis, unless they've ever heard of it personally, they would never know about inside China. There was like a migration thing where people are migrating to the cities and have these crazy amounts of factory jobs with just unbelievable amounts of people. In Africa, there's like a war going on because of some sabotage or some BS. They're going back and forth, and it's just all kinds of stuff. Migration can be used as a weapon. Again, in England, they would send tons of people. Oh, monster over here. Send tons of people over to Northern Ireland because they're trying to colonize Ireland. Like, oh look, here comes tons of people in Irish. Oh my God, look at all these people coming in. It's just different. Again, it's not the regular peasant or the small person's fault, but that person is being used as a weapon to do something else. So again, it's not that you're a bad person. It's not nothing bad or nothing crazy. But again, Texas border is setting off a whole host of conversations, a whole host of other things. The federal government again, they're building up, but again, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to show up with 600 blacked out SUVs to the border and say you have to move it, otherwise we're going to start a shootout? Like, do you want to go to the Lone Star State and say I want to start a shootout? You better move, and then draw a line in the sand, and like you hear the bell and the church little tumbleweed goes by, and they're all staring at each other. I really don't think you want to do that. Again, I'm not advocating for violence, and I'm not saying I hope to see violence. I'm just telling you, I know how people in America are, and again, when you get those wheels, when you get those wheels turning, right? When you get those the military, the industrial, the police industrial, the medical any type of complex where the wheels start going, very hard to get it to stop. Now in the federal government, these agents, I guess, are getting SWAT teams and the blacked out crew versus the digital camouflage and the tanned out crew, because that's who's down in Texas right there. The Texas military industrial complex is starting to build up. It's starting to get those gears turning, right? They're at the border. They're doing their thing. And the federal government gear complex is turning. So you have these two giant tank or these two giant things going towards each other. Never really know exactly what's going to happen. That's why a lot of people are concerned about, hey, what's going on? And that's why I went into this big whole spiel about all these other things, because it all comes together and it does matter. Again, I'm not saying I have a problem with immigrants. I personally don't care, but I don't want you to come here disrespectfully, number one, because I don't ever go to your country disrespectfully. That's crazy. Number two, I don't want you to be used when you get here, sent on a bus to some crazy factory or You get, if you're a young, girl or a kid, you might get put on a thing to like uh, a place that I don't even want to mention here on YouTube, where they lock you into some place, because that happens in America. Just because there's nice places in America, don't, again, you've never crisscrossed every single inch of every mountain, of every single hilltop, of every neighborhood, and you drive past a house, you don't even know what's going on in every one of these houses. I'm not saying to get up in their business, but I'm saying people in America would be shocked to find out that Fashion Nova has people in a factory somewhere in Los Angeles making super high end, expensive, fancy clothes for $2 an hour. And I guarantee they're not allowed to leave whenever they want. Same thing with roofing companies, same thing with a lot of these farming places. Look, a lot of people in America, they look at a map, they've driven a bunch of different places, but again, what the amount of types of things that are going on in any different circumstances, it's even more than Americans are even able to comprehend, which is actually a lot. People think Americans are dumb. No, Americans consume a lot of over the top entertainment style things, because that's what the government and these institutions have kind of maneuvered society towards, because all the things that they're doing aren't very fun. At least that's what they tell you. And people go, well, history isn't fun. And it's fun if you're living it. You feel me? So, and I don't mean fun as in hee hee, like I'm at Fun Spot riding go karts fun. I mean the most fun you never want to have again, if you're even, if you're surviving. So, like I said, this is very interesting to see that, the Biden administration, Republicans, Democrats, the Uniparty, whatever you want to call them, the they, the them, the they've chosen to, tell the Texas, we can control the border. You need to give it. We've ruled in our court, a bunch of old people way over there, thousands of miles away, that absolutely hate you and maybe do or don't care. They decided on a piece of paper that you can't do what you're doing all the way down here in the hot sun, while they're up in, snowy whatever place. Do as we say, or them, because they're way over there. And they're like, what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sound of all these dudes setting up seawire with these giant bulldozers and our own Texas industrial complex of doing whatever we want. Sorry. So, hearing a lot of weird noises over here. I don't know. I checked my security camera. I saw a fox run out of the woods the other day. It was really weird. It looked really weird. But like I said, that's what's going on down in Texas. Trying to think if there's anything else that I was going to add in there. Oh yeah, the Carrie Lake tapes. Now, this is very interesting. Carrie Lake, a lady. I guess if you don't know her, she was a lady in Arizona. She was, like, I guess, a registered Democrat. I don't think that really matters at this point. She ran for governor. She lost to some other lady. I don't remember the other lady's name, but Carrie Lake. It's a lady who lost. She was in news for years. She was a news anchor. Pretty interesting. I featured her in my high tech homestead video, because she was a news anchor in Arizona. She's now running for the Senate in Arizona, because a lot of people in Arizona believe that her election was stolen from her, because the shenanigans happened. The 4 a.m. ballot dump, hee hee ha ha, wink wink, nudge nudge, clown world stuff happens. And magically, their votes disappear, and all these other some other lady got the votes, and she was on the. This is actually factual, by the way. She had like some cartel members on the payroll. They were paying her to do this or that. It was pretty crazy out there in Arizona. So Carrie Lake, yesterday or today, releases a video, where she is talking to some guy up in the Republican National Committee of some sort. I don't know exactly who this person is. Some Republican person, I guess, because she's trying to run for the Senate, and he was all, I guess, kind of not so subtly offering her money and or whatever she wants to step down, and to not run for Senate, because Carrie Lake allegedly is about the MAGA movement, make America great again, Donald Trump, yada yada. Again, my opinion on Carrie Lake is much different, because until I actually see people publishing a lot more in a specific way about how they were cheated, instead of just kind of riding it just for. I'm not saying she's doing this, but I'm saying, like, for me, a little bit suspicious going on with the Carrie Lake stuff, because again, um, we had Dr. Shiva. He went over the whole, the Arizona and all the different, the ballot stuffing and all that stuff. He found a bunch of stuff. He took it to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, I guess he was like, hey, I'm not interested in the actual results of the cheating, because I don't want to rock the boat. I guess there's a political timeline. You weren't trying to like mess it up or whatever. And a lot of people are upset about that. And the Operation Warp Speed thing, that's fine. But again, Carrie Lake releases this tape where somebody's threatening to have the cartel come pay her a visit and do some harm if she doesn't do what they want. But she's like, hey, well, you can at least offer me something good. She's joking back and forth with this guy, and then she says to this guy, "Hey, why don't you go public with the fact that these people are trying to force you to tell me this, and we could do great things. We could do this and that." And then the guy says, "Oh, what do you think? I'm crazy? You want me to go try to start my car and then go boom, boom?" So what he's saying is, if he were to go against the Republican National Hootamajaw, which is the Uniparty, because they're all Democrats, Republicans, Republicans are liberals too, Democrats are also right. It's all the same. He said, if I try to go against the Uniparty and not force Carrie Lake to do, again, this is all alleged in the tapes that she released, so this is, I'm going off of what it says, then they will put a Irish surprise in my car, and I will turn it on, and I will be a fancy Irish. I'll be the fancy name of an Irish drink, an Irish car bomb, at a bar. Kaboom! If you don't know what that's from, so he said they would literally blow up my car with me in it if I were to go against the quote unquote, what he says, quote, very powerful people back east. I think that was too many quotes there. Very powerful people back east, because they're out west in Arizona. It's thousands plus, maybe 2,000 miles away almost from Washington, D.C. So I'm assuming that's what he meant, like Mitch McConnell, that type of guy, those type of people. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, what's that other guy's name? Lindsey Graham. These guys are, they're not even think they're human beings. They're weird. But that guy, again, that's what this person was alluding to, and says, "Hey, I'm under the threat of duress to put you under that same duress, and you should just stop caring about America and do even less than you're doing now." And I guess she was like, "No, you're gonna have to kill me. You're gonna do this." She gave a little thing at the end. But again, that's also part of the out west border battle, cartel involved, money laundering, whatever the type of stuff. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, they're gonna threaten. They're gonna." Everybody's already being threatened. They got aliens showing up in Miami. They got people disappearing left and right. They got all kinds of stuff going on. So if you're gonna threaten to kill somebody over talking like what they would already be doing, like you're gonna like this a person was allegedly doing to Carrie Lake, like, "Oh, they'll get you killed." Oh, because he said, "Oh yeah, the cartel are very active in all 50 states. Oh yeah, so you might want to do what we say." That was in the tape, and I'm like, that's very interesting. But again, in my last video, what I said, if everything is already under the threat of death, we're gonna threaten you with death for this. I'm like, but dude, I woke up in the morning and chose Cheerios over Frosted Flakes, and you already threatened me with death. So it's like everything I do, you better open the mailbox and blink twice and turn your head like this, otherwise it's death. Like every single thing they do is death. So you better not talk about how we hate America. Everybody already knows you guys hate America, guy. The very powerful people back east. I'm assuming these powerful people back east that they're threatening your life to threaten Carrie Lake. Okay, they're not threatening me. I mean, they don't care about me. If imagine that he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm." Imagine receiving this phone call to Carrie Lake. "I'm sorry, they're threatening me to threaten you. So if you don't accept my threats, I'm gonna die." I'd be like, "Damn, that's a shame." Click. Like, I'm not saying that maybe she liked the guy. Maybe he's a nice guy because he didn't sound mean. It sounded kind of like some Patrick Bateman energy. It was very funny sounding. Doesn't mean it wasn't serious. Maybe she didn't want to release the tape originally when it happened, because I'm assuming it happened earlier because he was going to die. He's like, "Oh, I don't want him to die." But Carrie, baby girl, they going to kill you. So allegedly. So if what you're saying is true, you might want to do something about it. That's why she released the tape. So again, if we were not concerned and correct citizens as we were, we would be like, "Oh, we just accept whatever comes out." So I'm a little bit, I want to know a little bit more about the whole situation there. But again, good on her for releasing the tape of, you know, Turkey Neck McCreeperson, calling her saying, "Oh, they're going to blow up my car with me in it if you don't accept these offers. And, we got to come up with something, her. And, the guy I was listening to the video, he was, a different video, because I've been listening to a bunch of stuff all day to come up with this one. He was like, I couldn't think. He's like, whenever something happened to me, I couldn't say I know the person that caused this to happen to me. When it comes to I'm in America, talking on the internet, politics or whatever else. He said I couldn't think of a single person to where I can lead this back to them, but everybody knows who the they and the them, whatever is. We all know the generalized person of who it is, and I thought that was very interesting because a lot of people know that something bad will happen, but it's like they don't know where from. There used to be this guy, I don't even know if he's on YouTube anymore, James Munder. Apparently, he used to have really great videos, but his videos were always like they came across very desperate and crazy towards a certain part because he escaped like Scientology, but he still lived in LA. I'm like, bro, if you escape Scientology in LA, you need to like go away. You know, at least if it's far away, it'll be hard for them to send, the van, the white van sitting outside your house will have to refill at least a few times before it gets to your house. You know what I'm saying? So like, he still lived there. He's like, oh, they're outside. They're always doing. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know if you actually like have any type of reverence or fear towards these people. Like if you escaped from a place, like you literally ran out of the basement covered in honey and you escaped and made it out, you shouldn't fear them. Being in their clutches, that's what you should fear. Okay? They're outside my house, bro. There are a lot of other people, they're outside everybody's house today. Right? That's what I wanted to get across to you guys is that this is the type of stuff that's going to keep escalating because everybody's already at that point to where it's everything's already too much was like that was like 6 stops ago. It was too much. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't wish people to be at this place. I continuously help to talk to people to help them out, to try to de-stress them, to try to take down some of that level of stress and the hate and all these different types of things that they have going on. But like I can only do so much. Sometimes I'm going to tell people, you know what? Maybe you need to make a change in your life. A lot of people in America are shifting away from the most recent like just like I said in China, that migration that was going on, a lot of people in America did the same thing. They migrated to cities, and now they're moving back to the rural areas, and they're trying to keep it peaceful and relaxing, right? And now you got all this crazy stuff going on. People ain't about that crazy stuff no more. People showing up to the border, people in Texas doing what they want. Now other states are going to start doing what they want. You feel what I'm saying? Now, like I said, Arizona, I don't think they're going to do anything. I don't know if New Mexico, I don't think they're going to do anything. California, definitely not going to do anything. That's why they're upset at Texas because the governor of Arizona was bumped out of the way because Carrie Lake would have been heard. And then it's whoever this other lady is, New Mexico. The governor's trying to take away Second Amendment rights, talking about a bunch of crime happened that we let happen. So therefore, I need to shut everything down and make a Second Amendment zone in the area of the city because there's so much crime. No, I'm just gonna take the guns away. I'm not gonna stop them from killing people. I'm just gonna take away some of these guns. And again, it's just like Gavin Newsom, again, the whole West, all the way along the border, none of those people are going to stop being papered up with money from whoever, for whatever reason. It might not even be money that they're getting, whatever. Except for Texas, Greg Abbott. He's just a different type of guy. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Greg Abbott, but here he goes, right? Doing whatever he's doing for whatever reason. It's very interesting because, like I said, I'm not trusting of this guy, but it's very interesting to, in another video, someone says, you shouldn't take it personally when the elites are battling each other. You should just see the moves that they're making and, amidst the chaos, make moves for yourself to secure America for the things that you think. Like I said, they're going back and forth about this border battle. Oh my God. So you're like, oh, really? Wow, look at these elites are battling each other. Hey, which one of you guys that are doing this battle wants to give me? And then you insert something that you in America think like, hey, security. Which one of you guys wants to offer me this? Which one of you guys wants to offer me that? And I'm not saying like you should only care about this, but if they're having a battle, like we need support, hey, you guys want to give me the stuff that literally belongs to me anyway? And again, they're like, no, we're not going to give you back your tax dollars. But Texas, they're like, hey, look, we're actually going to use your tax dollars for something you may want, and we might stop charging you because they're charging us all this money for this stuff. We're going to stop paying for some of these programs because they're just going blah blah blah. Oh yeah. So then you whoever you can go with, sheriff, or they're having a town hall meeting or something, if you can even be one of these people, you show up to it and you start giving these National Guardsmen, you start giving the Texas Border Patrol in that area, you start helping gas, I'm not saying gas them up, help them out, bring them some food, bring them some water, help them out, like just for 5 minutes or whatever, make them feel good. Because like I said, then that helps them know that they're making the right decision. And then next time you see on the news, all this battle, you'll be like, hey, look, I contributed to that battle. And then they're going to go on even harder and harder and harder. Or like I said, whatever you feel like doing. So again, crazy situation. People start doing whatever they want. Like in my last video, Texas showed up with bigger trucks, with more money and guns, and the border police, the border patrol, the federal agents, border patrol, they're like, look, we need to get out of here because they said to leave. If any other circumstance, they would have showed up on some Waco siege stuff. But again, they can't do that because they have to come with even more money and trucks and guns, and that's going to be a huge, giant uh, publicity deal that they don't want. So again, and I like I said, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just watching the situation, saying, hey, look, the Texas military industrial complex is starting to gain speed down at the border, and now the federal government's going to have to get their industrial police show up with money and truck gun complex to show up and dislodge them. And again, I don't know how exactly it's going to happen. Maybe there's going to be some backroom deals. I hopefully not. Again, I hope Texas isn't going to fold. But are they going to offer them something behind the scenes or make some threats? Are they going to pull a Kerry Lake on these guys? Oh, you better do this or your car might go boom. That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So, what do y'all think is going to happen? Put it down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with me late at night. There's been a couple of y'all guys and gals in here. What do you guys think is going to happen at the border battle? What do you think about all this stuff that we went over? The Kerry Lake stuff, the election goofball, stupid stuff. What do you guys think about all that? Definitely. I'm sorry. I'm looking around. There's a bunch of things. It's dark out here. There's woods and creatures running out of the woods. Put it down in the comments below. Let me know what you all think. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you later.